I was put on this planet for one reason, to play hockey.
Call Detroit, tell them bullshit, something.
These guys are a fucking disgrace.
And I'm telling you, he jumped us.
Sure did.
Yeah. I mean, gloves off, stick down, no warning. He challenged the chief. Call us names. Call us names!
Treat me right fucking now.
I was in Florida once on a southern tour where I met this little redhead who was an underwater specialist.
Oh, Maurice, you make me sick when you speak.
You don't have what they call the social skills.
And on the phone right now, we got our special guest in the buzz this week, Slob Corrigan. How you doing, Slob?
Pretty good, Gordy. Yourself?
I'm doing just fine. Finally got you on for the interview. I know that the fans have been anxiously awaiting your appearance on the buzz. So I guess we'll start off with talking about the last game that you played, which was a few weeks ago, the 5-2 loss to the Oregon Grinders. After that game, you came up with what was termed a lower body injury, and we had heard that you had some therapy time at Dr. Sinclair's office in the garage, and just want to know anything resolved besides the fact that his sessions are detrimental to your work attendance.
Well, his sessions are very therapeutic. I will say that. Didn't really have a whole lot to do with my injury, but they sure as hell made me feel better, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, yep, kind of masked the symptoms, didn't treat the injury, eh?
Absolutely. It's all about masking.
So, what do you think about this upcoming game this week? Are you going to be in the lineup?
Yeah, it's looking that way. I tried to, the whole injury thing, I know you referred to it as a lower body injury. I saw how McGahee used his lower body and kind of got himself traded to a little bit better team, and I thought maybe I'd try the same thing. I ended up hurting myself. So,
well, I'll have to ask,
I guess I am where I am.
I'll have to ask GM Reg to see if he's been able to get a bag of pucks for you, and if you're on the move, well, we'll find out. As far as the season goes, you got 2 left, and you will finish below 500. Where do you think this team's going in the playoffs? Anywhere?
I will have to echo my defense partner's statements, and they're definitely going to the bar after the game. Other than that, it's way up in the air. I don't know. Yeah,
you guys seem to be good with that part, the going to the bar part.
Well, I tell you what, if we had a beer drinking contest, I know we'd definitely win. We'd win the marathon, and I know I'd put Sinbin up in the sprint for sure. He'd beat anybody.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Being with the forwards, I think Sinbin might be the one to outlast you all, though. He's like a weeble. He wobbles, but he doesn't fall down.
That's true.
So let's talk about your hockey background now. You've been playing hockey for quite a while. It says here in your bio that you started with the Dublin Double Runners over in Ireland, and then you were released from that team after an unfortunate sheep incident, after a long night of Guinness and tequila. You care to comment on that?
Well, the only comment I have it was Guinness and Jameson, no tequila. Other than that, no comment, no.
Oh, so the tequila part of the report was erroneous, but the sheep was correct?
I'm sorry?
The tequila part of that report was erroneous, but the sheep part was correct?
Yeah, it was actually Jameson, and there were no animals harmed in the making of that debacle.
All right, well, that's good to know. I'm sure Pete will be happy to hear that. So getting to your roots, you started in Ireland because I know you're Irish, you wanted to go back to the old country, but what is Slob? Is that like Hungarian or something?
No, that's good old-fashioned American. Has to do with, I think Skippy came up with that term after I went out to dinner with him one night. I don't know why.
Really? Well, we'll have to see if we can get Skippy on the show here. I'm sure he'd have a few choice comments.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have to ask you. It just kind of seemed to stick. So in Ireland, it actually was Mick Slob.
That's pretty funny. As far as your equipment here, I got a question from Phil, youngster in Amherst, wants to know what kind of stick do you use so he can go by the opposite.
What kind of stick do I use?
Yeah, do you use?
I use whatever's available on the bench. I bring a couple of sticks, but I tend to leave them in the locker room because I don't want them to break. So what my teammates don't know is I usually will just grab one of theirs, and in case I get caught in the boards, the blade breaks off, whatever. I tend to find though that I like to use Al sticks the best for my stick handling ability.
Oh, that seems.
It really improve my hands and the ice gets a little chopped up, but I definitely do well with the stick handling using his sticks.
That's also pretty good on the wallet, eh? You don't have to spend a lot of money on sticks.
Well, it is we are senior C4. We're not in the high tier payroll anymore.
And it's true. You pretty much can pick up any stick and hit an open net, right?
Well, I can pick up any stick, hit an open net, as long as I'm from my blue line. Our blue line, I'm money from our blue line.
Oh, you're farsighted.
Anything you get past the red line is pretty dicey. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you right now, it seems to be that way for the forwards too.
Yeah, I will say though that if we do have a forward standing in front of the net, I will drill him right in the nuts.
Yeah, well,
every time.
And if they're short forward, it's usually right around the neck area, right?
Yeah, exactly, absolutely.
Yeah, I've heard some complaints about that. We'll get some of the forwards on and talk about that another time.
All right, sounds good.
I got one more thing before we get to something special for you. What is your inspiration for the Slobism of the Week? The team PR and the Director of Public Relations, they post that up every so often. You are like the team quote machine, apparently.
Well, I don't know. I think I might have started with the DJ rant. I mean, in the locker room, you got the guys coming in doing interviews, the media coming in doing interviews in the locker room, and they really can't seem to get any footage other than listening to the DJ spout his mouth off, and every once in a while we'll get a piece on a reg bitching about the refs, and, they kind of outweigh everyone, and no one can get a word in edgewise. So I set up that little piece so, the fans could get the pulse of the team other than the two big mouths that we have on the ice there, on the bench and on the locker room. They're just big mouths all together.
There's a lot of confusion in the locker room, especially when you guys get going. All right, before I let you go, I do this once in a while with players I can get an interview with. I got 5 quick questions for you, and we'll just start this up, and it's going to be kind of rapid fire, so you got to give me the first thing that comes into your head, all right?
Okay, I'll do my best.
All right, I'm sure you'll get at least one right. All right, number 1 for the 5 questions. Guinness or bare knuckle stout?
Guinness.
That would be neither, so you can make it to work the next day. Second question.
It needs to go to work.
Oh, well, some people do. That's right, you don't. You don't pay for sticks.
That's true.
What is the equivalent of a reach around?
That would be when Skippy actually stays one of his rebounds.
That's correct. Absolutely right. I didn't think you were going to get that one. Now, here's one that should be right up your alley. If a train left Chicago at 3 p.m. and another train left New York at 4 p.m., who do you kick in the balls for having to answer an exam question like this?
Mary Script.
Okay. Correct.
Beautiful. I knew that one. That's an easy one.
Worst gas on the team?
Worst gas on the team?
3 seconds.
I would have to say Pentex. His is pretty brutal.
That is correct. That is correct.
He usually says a prayer on the bench after the game. I think it's so he doesn't kill anyone in the locker room. He asks for strength.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell he's eating over there, but oh my goodness.
Well, those country boys, they eat a lot of weird stuff.
Absolutely.
And question number 5, nose ring or electric ankle bracelet?
I prefer the nose ring. Apparently, according to my attorney, I have to wear the electric ankle bracelet for at least 6 more months.
No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. We were going to take one of 2 answers, either ball and chain or wife. But thank you for playing anyway.
What's the difference there exactly?
That's why we're going to take either one.
Oh, I got you. Good.
One of 2, we'll take 1 or 2. We'll give you a chance. Well, thanks for being a good sport and coming on the Bulldog Buzz today. And hopefully we'll get Skippy or someone to give a few retorts, maybe some forwards, because you sometimes are not too nice to the forwards out there.
Well, I sometimes when I'm out there, I'm the only defenseman, so it's a lonely world because,
Well, that's true. DJ is really a forward.
Forwards out there. One of them lines up a defense for the faceoffs. I won't mention any names, DJ. But, I am the only defenseman out there a lot of times.
Yeah, you got to give that guy a roadmap sometimes to find the corner in our zone, huh?
Absolutely.
Well, thanks again, Slob, and good luck in the playoffs, and hope to see you back in the lineup this week.
All right, Gordy, good talking to you. Thanks for having me on.
That's it for this week's Buzz. We'd like to thank Slob Corrigan for being our guest. Next Bulldogs game is Thursday night against the Blue Devils. Hope to see you soon for your next Buzz. This is Gordy Moose Knuckles signing off.
Take my guitar for the boarding room. Met a little girl, her name was June, a little bit south of Saskatoon.